Hello everybody, I hope you have been enjoying our 12 days of Christmas so far. Today we are going to be making a paper roll snowflake. It's really simple. All you need is either a couple paper towel rolls or several 12 paper rolls. You're going to cut them in, you're going to take the rolls, squash them flat, and then cut them into 1/2-inch strips. You're going to need at least 24 to make one snowflake. If you want to make more than one, obviously you will need more than one. You'll also need some white paint, some glitter if you wish to make it glittery. If you don't want to go like the painting it yourself route, you could always try and grab some spray paint, or you could just leave it the brown color. That's up to you. You will also need some glitter, and you will need some ribbon in order to put a little hanger on that, and a 1 hole punch. Also, if you have one of those, you'll need a single hole punch to put a hole in the top of your snowflake, and a hot glue gun and some glue sticks. So that should be all the supplies you need. It's really easy. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your rolls. You're going to take 6 of them, and you're going to glue. Take your first one. You're going to put a little hot glue on the edge like so, and then you're going to stick another one right to that, just like that. So you're going to stick them together like that, and what you're going to do is you're going to do that for 5 of them. You're going to put them side by side like that, glue on one side, stick your paper roll piece on there, now when you get to that last paper roll piece number 6, the nice thing about hot glue is hot glue dries relatively quickly, so it makes it perfect for this project. If you wanted them to be really white, you could paint them beforehand. You could spray paint them afterwards, and then use glue to attach the glitter. I painted mine afterwards and then used the paint itself to attach the glitter to mine. But how you do it is up to you. So once you've got 5 of them glued together like that, you're going to put a little more glue on the other side, and you're going to bring them around into a circle, just like that. And then if you kind of want to stretch them, kind of squash them so that they all look about even, that's going to be the center part of your snowflake. All right? So that's the first step. I'm going to put that down. For the next part, to make these little bits in here, the little angles, you're actually going to take one of your rolls and you are going to fold it in half like that. You're going to put glue on the outsides, both of the outsides, and then you're going to slide it down in between the 2 pieces you already put on there, like that. Now you could just leave it that initial 6 if you don't want to do a lot of this work, but you're going to go like that. And then you're going to do another one, squash it down, fold it in half, glue on the outside, glue on the outside, and then stick that down in that same space again. So that's going to give you those 2 little sort of point areas like that. And then you're going to take one more ring. You're going to put glue on both sides of it like so, and you're going to stick that down in there like that. And then you're going to do that all the way around through each of the points that are there. It doesn't take long because, like I said, the glue dries very fast with hot glue, which is nice, but that's going to give you the main body of your snowflake shape. Now, if you are doing this with small children, just remember, hot glue is just that. It is hot, so it will hurt if they get it on their skin. If you're using a low temp gun, it shouldn't burn them at all, but it will hurt. If you're using a high temp gun, which I do not recommend if you are doing this with children, it will leave blisters. So you do want to make sure that you are watching them. Maybe you as the grown-up do the actual gluing part and let them do the painting and the glittering later on. Something like that might be a great way to have the whole family work together on this project. So see, I'm just going around and I'm folding them in half, gluing those in first, and then putting the other ones inside. Now, it doesn't need to be perfect because imperfections are beautiful. But as long as you've got the basic shape of the snowflake, that's good enough. I like to kind of squash them out a little bit when I get to that last one so that it fills up the space a little better. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. And then we squash that in there. So I've got 3 of mine done. I'm about halfway around at this point. You're going to keep going until you're completely finished. After that point, we'll do the painting part. Now the paint will obviously need to dry. If you chose to paint yours first, that's fine. You will still assemble it the same exact way. You just have to wait for them to dry first. If you want to use spray paint, which if you have white spray paint, might be a really great option because it's going to really coat all of the snowflake inside and out of the brown paper rolls really nicely and really thoroughly if you want to do that. I would recommend that, but that typically needs to be done by a grown-up, and it needs to be done outside someplace well, or in a garage or something, someplace well ventilated if you're going to be messing around with spray paint. Once the spray paint has dried, which takes way less time than acrylic paint, you can use just little Elmer's glue or tacky glue, any kind of clear craft glue to glue your glitter on. And then you'll just paint the glitter on like paint on the edges and then dip your snowflake in it, which you'll see how I'm going to do that with my paint in a minute. So I'm on my last fancy point. We'll call it fancy point. Now, before you paint it, you're going to want to grab your hole punch and pick which space you want to be the top of your snowflake. I recommend starting the top, having the top of your snowflake be the first point you put on, not the last one, because the glue will already be dry. And what you're actually going to do is you're going to take your hole punch, you're going to squeeze it closed, and you're going to hole punch a hole right in the top there. That's going to be where your ribbon goes through. I'm not going to put a hole punch online, but I will show you how to put the ribbon on when you're done. So that's what you're going to want to do right now before you paint it, is put your hole punch right there so that it's ready to go. Next, we are going to paint. I used tempera paint on my other one, but the coverage wasn't really great. So I'm going to recommend you use acrylic paint if you have it. Now, when using acrylic paint, especially with young children, just be careful because acrylic paint will stain clothing if you get it on. It will not come out in the wash. That is the nice thing about tempera paint. It does come out in the wash. Acrylic paint will not. However, acrylic paint is going to give you better coverage. So that's kind of up to you. If you're working with kids, not working with kids, you worried about getting white paint on things, not worried about getting white paint on, that's your choice. So all you're going to do, take a paintbrush, take your white paint, and you're just going to paint around the edges of your snowflake. Just the parts you can see. I wouldn't worry about going on the inside unless you want your whole thing to really, really look white and fresh all the way around. And if you have the time and patience to do that, by all means, go ahead. I personally am just going to put it a little bit on this outer edge that you can see, and then I'm going to put it on the sides where you're going to actually attach the glitter. And I'm not even going to do my whole thing because by the time I finish my whole thing, you'll be bored watching me, and painting is not very fun to watch anybody do. So I'm just going to get enough paint on here so that my glitter will stick, and then you can continue on from there. All right, so see, I painted just sort of inside the edges, the top parts that people kind of can see from the outside. I did not go ahead and paint on the inside because you can't really see that. It's really shadowy anyway. If you do paint it on the inside, here, let me paint the inside of this one so that you can kind of see. If you do paint it on the inside, it will make your snowflake look a little brighter, but like I said, that's going to be trickier if you've put it together first. If you want to paint it beforehand, that'll be a little bit easier. It's also going to take longer. It's up to you really how much time you want to spend on this project. It's just sort of meant to be sort of a cute little fun decoration. It's not, you know, like Etsy quality, let's pop it up for sale by any means, but it is a very cute little family project. So if you put it in there, see here, you can see it really like pops out a bit more versus this one, which I didn't paint, where it's just a little bit less bright. But that's really your choice. Now for the glitter part, after you've got your whole thing painted, as much as you want to paint it or not paint it, or if you're using the spray paint, this is what you're going to do. For the glitter, you're going to use just the right paint right on the front flat edges. They're really narrow, so you got to really slab the paint on there so there's enough to hold the glitter. It will work with glue, like I said, as well. If you just want to leave your snowflake brown with a little bit of glitter on it, you can do that. What I did was paint the whole thing, and then I went ahead and just dunked it right into the glitter. For this one, I'm doing kind of a sprinkle effect because I only painted a small area of it. But if you just kind of smush it around in the glitter, maybe put it on a plate, you'll see the glitter will stick right to that wet paint. And then once you're done with that, you can set that aside to dry. The only other thing that I did just to give it a little extra kind of pop in the middle of my snowflake is I put a little rhinestone on there. So if you happen to have any little rhinestones, you can stick one right in the center, and it just gives it that extra little bit of gleam while it's hanging up. So that's your paper roll snowflake. Really, really simple. I'd love to see it when you finish it. You can use any kind of glitter you want, whether you use red or green or whatever. It's yours. Go crazy. Be creative. I can't wait to see them, so go ahead and snap a picture of it and post it below the video with the hashtag CLSV12days, and I look forward to seeing everything you guys have created throughout this whole project. Bye!